they all pass through this program. So it's a very laudable program that we are happy to be having. We are happy to be having it regularly.
In some of the matches concluded on the opening day, on the 12 girls champion Imole Afolabi beat Miracle Ebono 9-4, while in the boys on the third category, Praise Kyobu, whose twin brother Precious is also taking part in the tournament, also defeated Chinedu Obina 9-3.
I started playing tennis when I was 3 years old with the help of my father. And after some time, I started training me. My mother also encouraged us to play. I want to become the winner of this particular tournament, and I want to be like with a federal. It can help you to improve on your play, and also can help you to get scholarships. It helps to develop the junior players who are coming up in tennis, and it helps to develop many players who are not yet playing tennis, who are just to watch tennis. To make us be inspired, come and meet our, come and be experienced in many matches that we are playing, and develop our skills.
The developmental national junior tennis tournament ends on Saturday at the Ikoyi Club in Lagos. Gifts George, NTA Sports.
The 2018 Lagos Secondary Schools of Playfair Handball Competition has produced Zumratul Islamia and Wesley Girls as winners in the senior boys and girls categories. The competition, which aimed at catching them young in order to boost the national teams, also featured under 15 and under 12 players from Ekiti and Ondo states. The 1 week of Playfair handball competition featured 83 junior and senior secondary schools in Lagos State, while the under 15 and under 12 male handball teams from Ekiti and Ondo State were also invited to take on Lagos State teams on the closing day, which was charged with excitement. In the senior boys final, Zumratul Islamia Secondary School beat Lagos City College 29 to 16 points to emerge champions, while Wesley Girls beat CMS Girls Grammar School 12-5 to emerge female champions.
We tried our best to win the cup for the school. I want to get to level of play to meet Nigerian team. Now I'm Lagos team Handball Association, but I want to keep more efforts to get to the pro level and to play for Nigeria. The
junior boys champion is Herbert Macaulay Secondary School, while Eletu Odibo junior girls team were the female champion. There were various individual prizes. The top 3 schools were given medals, trophies, and educational materials, while stakeholders who contributed to the growth of handball in the state and nation were also awarded.
We want to discover talents and expose those talents, build those talents, and make these young kids use these talents for the glory of God and for the image of Nigeria. And our target is the Olympics 2020 to make sure handball, which was in the Olympics in 1992, should get back to the Olympics, both male and female. We missed it narrowly in the last Olympics where we came fourth in Africa, and only 3 teams had to represent Africa. 2 is to ensure Lagos and the southwest region of Nigeria become for handball in Nigeria.
The next phase for us is to bring these talents together for some summer campaign or summer kind of program for them. We'll give them more experienced coaches to be able to hone their skills. For us, it's going to be like the yearly program for these kids, and we're going to bring them also to the state level to come and start training with the state team. I think from there we believe that a lot of them will develop from what they currently have.
The next edition will be for the Southwest region. The Sports Writers Association of Nigeria has called on governments to use sport as a tool to further unite the country. This was the message at the 51st National Full Council meeting of the association, which held in Port Harcourt. National executives, state chairmen and secretaries, as well as past presidents of the body, were in attendance. Ayodeji Ogunshaki reports.
The Full Council meeting brought together members of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, from the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The program, which was declared open by the Rivers State Governor Nisan Wiki, represented by the Secretary to the State Government Kenneth Kubani, also featured lecture delivered by a Professor of Marketing Communication, Department of Mass Communication, University of Uyu, Professor Peter Etu, on the topic Sports Development and Nation Building, the role of SWAN. He said the importance of sport in nation building, promoting peace and oneness cannot be overemphasized. Hence the need for sports journalists to project sports in such a way that could promote the nation's peace through principle of investigative reporting, descriptives, expository and narrative presentation of sports for the development of the country.
Like the media, sports mirror the society. Amachi observed that games provide a touchstone for understanding nations' progress and civilization. And so sports in our climes are one of the essential social services of governments.
The National President of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, Olin Sirawo, said the association will not shy away from its responsibility in promoting sports and repositioning the body for better.
We acknowledge that there were challenges, and of course leadership has to do with tackling challenges. So what we decided to do was not to look backward, but to look forward, knowing that at every point in life you come, play a role, and you go.
There were goodwill messages from the President, African International Sports Press, Michel Obi, and past President of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, while members of the association advocated the use of sports as tools for engaging youth in meaningful ventures. The council enjoined the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, to match its words with action by ensuring that the nation performed well at the 2018 World Cup in Russia, while it also called on government in the northeast zone of the country to use sports as tools for engaging youth in the region meaningfully. I am Ayodeji Bushaki, reporting for NTA Sports.
Thank you, Ayo, for that report. And it's on that note we'll wrap up Sports World today. Do join us next Tuesday for a fresh package. Thanks for being a part of the program. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Adeola Omakibe saying bye for now and enjoy the rest of your
NTA2Lagos Network Center. NTA Television College Jos admission forms for diploma program in film and television production, television engineering technology, broadcast journalism, and degree programs in BSc Mass Communication, television journalism, and mass communication television production is now on sale. The sale of forms will commence 14th May and run to 13th August 2018 at the cost of 7,500 Naira only per form, payable through the remitter platform in favor of NTA Television College Jos. Forms can be obtained from all marketing offices in NTA State Capital Stations, zonal centers, Training Directorate of the NTA Headquarters Abuja, and the Office of the Academic Secretary of the NTA Television College. Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GSC SSCE in relevant areas of study, including English and Mathematics, and in not more than 2 sittings. All completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before the 13th of August 2008.
This is the network service of the NTA. Everyone, thanks for joining us on another episode of Agenda 2030. On today's episode, we will once again be giving you insight into the impact of the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, popularly known as the SDGs in Nigeria. I am Tony Nkanian John. Do stay with us. Welcome back. The National HIV and AIDS and Reproductive Health Survey of 2012 found very low uptake of HIV testing in Nigeria. The lack of HIV care centers, testing sites, and treatment sites presents problems for the Nigerian population. In recent years, sustaining domestic funding for HIV responses has become a priority of donors. Nigeria has also begun developing investment cases for its 6 most affected states to mobilize domestic resources and make state-level responses more effective. The funding of Nigeria's HIV response remains challenging. Funding problems arose in 2016 following an audit of NACA by the Global Fund to fight AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. On today's episode, we will be taking you through some federal government strategic response to the prevalence. And to be on track, you can also watch this program and other episodes by subscribing to our YouTube channels on youtube.com/FreshNewsTV and youtube.com/Agenda2030TV. You can also watch the program live on Facebook. Just log on to www.facebook.com/FreshNewsNG and www.facebook.com/Agenda2030TV. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Agenda 2030 TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember to drop your comments and share with your contacts. Do use the hashtag Agenda 2030 and hashtag Agenda 2030 TV. The Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, is set to partner the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, to check HIV/AIDS prevalence in the country. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Princess Adejoke Adefulure, disclosed this in Abuja while playing host to the Director General of NACA, Dr. Sani Aliyu, in her office. The report.
Princess Adejoke Adefulure noted that HIV and AIDS is a major cause of loss of lives amongst women, youth and children in our society, adding that there is a growing need to take concrete action to ensure that the trend is halted and reversed. Princess Adefulure advocated for the establishment of more HIV and AIDS test and screening centers across the country and urged all would-be couples and pregnant women to know their HIV/AIDS status so that mother-to-child transmission can be adequately checked. The presidential aide, who advocated for intensified awareness creation, also stated that she is particularly concerned about the pregnant women, hence the need for them to know their HIV status to avoid occurrences of mother-to-baby's transmission of the virus. To this end, possibilities will be explored towards establishing more free HIV and AIDS testing centers in the country.
Centers, where you can advise them to go and do, for them to know and confide in their doctors for the safety of their family and the unborn child.
She also insisted that a data on the pregnant women in Nigeria be provided by NACA to enable quick intervention plan for those infected, especially in rural and isolated areas.
If you have the test center, people work on their own and do the test. I'm sure if you go back to that era, I have many centers around, especially the rural area or concentrated area, IDPs and so on. We'll be able to know this and this and this. If you have data, we'll be able to plan. Without data, it's difficult to plan. Very, very difficult to plan. And if we don't plan, we plan to fail.
Apparently worried by the current statistics of the prevalence, the Director General of NACA, Dr. Sani Aliyu, stated that out of the 3 million Nigerians infected with HIV virus, half of them are women and children living in rural areas, asserting that 80 million Nigerians from available statistics do not know their HIV status.
A large bulk of the children born with HIV in the world come from Nigeria. On average, one in 4 babies born with HIV in the world is a Nigerian child, and this is despite having very effective treatment that prevents transmission. There are countries in the world that have completely eliminated HIV transmission among babies, completely. Whereas Nigeria, we still struggle very much with this.
Dr. Ali further stressed that the emerging disturbing discovery is the fact that a lot of the new cases involved youths of 15 to 24 years and are prevalent among the internally displaced persons, adding that a lot needs to be done to improve access to care and increase the uptake on HIV treatment, mostly for antenatal care.
One of the problems with pregnancy and HIV is the poor demand creation. A lot of our women actually do not know how important it is to have a HIV test when they are pregnant. Because having that test not only allows them to live longer, because if you are on treatment, your lifespan actually normalizes, but it actually prevents transmission to the child.
The NACA boss was, however, optimistic that the partnership with the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals will go a long way in reducing the scourge.
As part of her campaign for the attainment of relevant goals of the SDGs, wife of the President, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has advised women to use their voting power to influence the entrenchment of democratic values of probity, accountability, and the rule of law in order to guarantee peace, stability, and growth in Nigeria. She said this can only be achieved by electing the right people for the right positions. The report.
Mrs. Buhari was speaking during the courtesy visit by the Resuscitation Committee of the Jam'iyyar Matan Arewa, a non-governmental organization, on Tuesday, May 15, 2018 at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. She urged the NGO to encourage women not just to select the best candidates and vote for them, but to also contest elective offices themselves.
With the number that women have, they can influence any election in this country. The organization can encourage them to participate in politics rather than encouraging them to vote. It is high time for us to stand up for the rights of our children. The rights of our children, that is having the right women at the right places, especially in decision-making bodies.
She added that the struggle for gender parity in Nigeria has been a long-standing one with as many shortcomings as there are successes, but we will continue the struggle until we reach a situation where the interests of women are protected.
The limestone value chain is a long one, from the actual miners at the site to factory workers, down to truck drivers, wholesalers and retailers. This raw material, called limestone,
because we are dealing in environments where infrastructure are very poor, especially electricity. In each of the factory, we need between 1.5 to 2 megawatts of electricity to run factories. We just have to generate this electricity.
Right now, the mining is just going on first of all, we need to know where are the gems located in the country. Let's catalog some of these stones. Let's have proper documentation. And then, if we're not capable, let's bring in technical partners.
The current leadership of the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, on assumption of office, interacted with miners in every corner of the country and took cognizance of these challenges facing everyday miners. Backed by a mandate to resuscitate the solid mineral sector and make it a major contributor to the nation's GDP, the ministry defines its vision for the sector. In addressing the seemingly lack of structure in the way mining activities are carried out, the ministry came up with a 10-year roadmap for the development of the solid mineral sector.
We had to look at the whole value chain of mining activities, and we discovered that for us to meet up the three major goals where we are sent here, that of generating more revenue for government and of course job creation and ensuring the best standard mining practices to avoid environmental degradation and the effect on the human health. We
needed to bring stakeholders together, and that we did. In the course of doing that, we were able to produce the roadmap, and that's the roadmap which is our vision as a ministry, and those who are leading this ministry that we are pursuing.
Another major problem the current administration is faced with is the absence of qualitative and globally competitive geological data, a crucial component for investors willing to venture into mining in any country.
Globally, mining is a private sector business. And if it's private sector business, the country must be competitive to attract investors. Therefore, governments have no choice than to be involved in exploration. They have to look for these minerals, have enough data which they can present to investors to come into the country.
The ministry is therefore doing everything possible to update Nigeria's mining database, securing the release of previously contracted electromagnetic surveys and embarking on new surveys.
With the support that the President gave on the intervention, we were able to now pay finally for the aeromagnetic survey that had been in abeyance for almost a decade. This was a project started under the government of President Obasanjo when Mrs. Ezekwesili was the minister, but it was not paid for, so the data was not released by the company that conducted the aerial survey of our minerals. But we have finally paid for it, and we have retrieved the data, we've interpreted the data. The data is now available for those who are interested, particularly interested in what is where, and quantity, quality, and if they need to do more in-depth study, this data will guide in that particular exercise.
The funding challenge is another area this administration is striving hard to tackle. It is believed that with the right funding, every other thing can be achieved. A lot of strides have been made in that regard.
Host Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, Director General NTA. Host Chidi Uluka, Zonal Director NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Special Guest of Honor, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, Speaker Lagos House of Assembly. Spiritual Father of the Day, Sheikh Sulaiman Abu Nola, Chief Imam of Lagos. Guest lecturers, Commander Gidado Taufik Migdad, Acting Director, Member Directorate of Islamic Affairs. Ustaz Harun Fani, Imam NTA Lagos 2010. Lecture on benefits of non-interest financial system is an integral part of the event. This is a gathering of Islamic scholars you don't want to miss. See you there.
Are you a competent food vendor? Does your cooking tantalize the taste buds? Yes. The management and staff of NTA2Lagos Network Center seek partnership with a capable caterer in local and intercontinental cuisines to manage the station's canteen. Interested food vendors can pick up a form for a fee of 10,000 naira only at the NTA Television House, Amadou Bello Way, Victoria Island. All application forms must be duly filled and submitted on or before Friday 25th May 2018. For further inquiries, please call Drisu on 070-5079-1978. Announcer Management.
Ya Ramadan ya Shahran al-Huda.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of Health Options on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. I am Rabi Abdullah. Chronic kidney disease has become a public health problem with rising incidence and prevalence worldwide. And renal disease accounts for 8% of all medical admissions and 42% of renal admissions in Nigeria, where health insurance, to meet the huge financial demands, the disease
and the drugs can vary both from the drug you prescribe, the one you go to buy over the counter, and also herbal medications and herbal concussions. All those can affect the kidney.
So where does kidney stone come in here? So let's talk about kidney stones.
Yeah, the kidney stones, usually, when you say somebody is passing a stone, is in most cases when there are certain food we eat, and the food is being handled by the kidney, especially when it contains some calcium and like phosphate and oxalate, also uric acid. Is the kidney that tries to regulate this. But for certain reasons, some people are just predisposed to forming stones. Then this elements now crystallize inside the urine and they form stones and they go to block the urinary tract.
What's the implication of that?
Yeah, if it blocks the two, it can lead to kidney failure. But otherwise, in most cases, it presently get pain, and sometimes they bleed when they see blood in their urine. And majority of people pass the stone, but when the stone get blocked, then it has to be removed surgically or otherwise. In most cases, if it's not taken out and it's still blocked, they still continue to have pain.
Okay, but can it lead to chronic kidney disease?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Renal failure.
Yeah, it can lead to it in the fact that, one, if it blocks the two kidneys, then the urine can't flow. Two, it can also initiate infections that can, continue to affect the kidney and destroy the kidney. Okay,
let's look at the treatment options now. We have very few dialysis centers, very few patients have access to treatment, and even when they do, it's quite expensive. And I know that NHIS covers 2 sessions of dialysis. And as it is, sometimes on tablet. So the government, through such institutions like NIPRI, where I work, is trying to make sure that they standardize these herbals so they don't begin to cause negative issues for those that are taking them. Traditional medicine has been with us for a long time. It's not something that is new. And I'm sure that most older people have been involved in taking this traditional medicine. We took them in form of agbo when we were small and all that. But right now, the issue is we're trying to get them to a point where it is internationally accepted. Not just drink from a bucket or drink from a bottle, but we're trying to get them to a standardized level where scientifically you know the amount that you're taking and what exactly it's going to do when you ingest it. Welcome back from Nature's Corner. Experts recommend adequate consumption of water to enable the kidney effectively perform its function of cleansing the blood, control chemicals, fluid and blood pressure, to mention just a few. We have more health tips on care of the kidney.
Hypertension and diabetes are the 2 common causes of kidney disease, and so everyone needs to be aware. People who have hypertension should get to the hospital, check their blood pressure regularly, make sure their blood pressure is well controlled on medications.
It's that time of the year again when we celebrate our children. The NTA Educational Television family has some great and unique plans to celebrate every Nigerian child. Tagged 2018 Nigerian Children's Day Carnival. Individuals, schools and organizations are involved. Park Sports Stadium, Yaba, Lagos on the 25th day of May 2018 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Gate fee 1,000 naira per child. This event will feature games, fashion parade, quiz, poetry, and there will be lots of prizes to be won. Don't be left out in the display of our rich cultural attires and dances, plus performances by guest artists. For inquiries and updates, you can call 0803-682-4188, 0803-407-3862, or visit the marketing departments at NTA ETV, Tejo Yaba, Lagos.